I created Species Nutrition with one mission in mind: to provide bodybuilders and serious athletes with no-nonsense supplements that work. I put my name and reputation on every bottle of Species Nutrition products. If you want to be your absolute best, join the evolution.
The 2023 Dubai Pro just letting out. Ruff Diesel, Terrence Ruffin, the Redemption Tour. He wins the 2023 Dubai Pro Classic Physique title alongside the legends Chris Cormier and Shawn. I'm Siddique Farooqi. Thank you so much for joining. Terrence Ruffin, gentlemen, 6 days ago posted on Instagram a picture of last year's Olympia, a picture saying that it was his worst package ever. He was on a mission, and he certainly showed that here tonight.
Oh, yes, and I know he was very upset about the way he looked last year, and plus his placing, and coming from second to dropping out of the top four. So that's disheartening for anyone, any champion. He's a real champion, a great physique, great bodybuilder, great person. I didn't know how the mustache was going to weigh out on his in his favor like this, but it did. He can have a little trim on it. I think he might fare out a little better.
Shawn, mustache aside, what impressed you the most about Terrence Ruffin here tonight?
Well, it wasn't the Mr. Olympia lineup, number one, because that lineup last year was stacked. This one, he was challenged by one person individually by way of Brazil, but Terrence brought exactly what I thought he was going to bring. He had the time to make the corrections that he missed out on in Las Vegas, and I think he's going to actually improve. He's got another 6 weeks or so to run up to this Mr. Olympia, but him by himself, he's the master of illusion. He's like Tony Pearson. He looks a lot bigger, like the magical Egyptian Muhammad Makawe. Very well put together. Standing next to some of the other guys, he had to expose them by his professional posing. I think his posing separates him from the challenge that he had from the Brazilian here tonight.
We talk about the art of posing and perhaps a bit of a lost art in today's bodybuilding. A, how important is it? And B, Terrence Ruffin in terms of what he brings to posing every time out on stage.
Well, Sid, as far as importance, it is the utmost importance out of anyone that goes on a stage. That's from men and women and alike. The way he practices and the way he goes about the business of bodybuilding, I mean, that it just showed, and that's what carried him, was his experience and how much he puts into his posing. I mean, that's exactly what happened tonight.
Based off what you saw here tonight, Shawn, again, we're talking about an evolving Classic Physique division, one that's going to be absolutely stacked, and of course, at the top of it, Chris Bumstead has become a monolith in this division. Based off what you saw, and of course, Ruff Diesel is going to be competing at the Legions in a couple of weeks. His prospects, in your opinion, going to the Olympia 6 weeks out?
Well, he's been there. I mean, he's got a sniff. He's one of those guys like myself that got this far away. But it is apples and oranges when it comes to the Olympia. Chris Bumstead is the real deal. Ruffin's just got to continue doing what he does. At the end of the day, he's got to make it hard on the judges. There's not going to be any surprises when he gets to the Olympia. I think this next contest that he's getting ready for is going to be a walk away for him. I don't think anyone's going to challenge him. He's arguably one of the top 5 Classic Physique guys on the planet. But Orlando's going to be the test. Can he maintain his level of excellence? We know the posing is going to be there. It's going to come down to conditioning. He can't get any smaller. If he does, it's going to go against him. The Olympia lineup is going to be tall, 6 foot plus, and he's going to have to hang on to some of that muscle he has.
A great story, Fabio Valle finishing in second place. Chris, you said he's already Olympia qualified. You said it on the broadcast. We were on the live stream earlier. He wanted the challenge of going up against the likes of a Terrence Ruffin and, of course, Wesley Vissers, acquitting himself very well here tonight, showing oodles of mass. Really a very, very complete Classic Physique competitor.
Oh, yes. Fabio, he's going to be someone to reckon with moving forward. I thought his package here was a little bit better than it was in TJ. Yeah. So he was more like a bodybuilder to me. I was a little teetering to, like, should he be going to Classic or should he be trying to go into bodybuilding? But today it was a little bit more trimmed down. Some of the poses that he hits, you just got to get the aesthetics down for that to really go up to the next level. The twisted shot, you got to control your stomach better than that. You know, Terrence wouldn't do anything like that. You know, when he did his twisted shots, you're going to see that everything's tucked in, everything's in the right place, and that's when you get the bigger look and you get the type of look that Terrence brings to the stage and in his posing. And that's just come from being around the right people, doing the right things, helping you with the way you hold everything from your fingertips all the way to your toes got to be controlled, the facial expressions, everything. And don't just go for that one shot. Look for different shots that's going to make you better in that classic overall shot.
And finishing in third was Wesley Vissers. And, you know, notably, he brought his back up. He talked about bringing his legs up. He certainly did just that. What's holding him back?
Yeah, it's not something holding him back. This is a game of genetics. I mean, Terrence has arguably the best genetics in Classic along with Chris Bumstead. Wesley's got a few structural flaws. He's got an Arnold Schwarzenegger type physique where the waist is a little bit wide, I should say. And he hits some very signature poses, but genetically he just doesn't have the gifts that a Terrence Ruffin has, or even a Chris Bumstead. But he's a solid kid. He's getting better, and he's got to choose the right shows. Speaking of right shows, this one was off the hook. I mean, this had all the makings of a Mr. Olympia weekend to me. It felt like it was grand. It was all the personalities were here. The prize money was on par. This was a very good weekend here in Dubai.
That's kind of where I was going to go next. I mean, you consider this show now in his third year. Look, we've seen Dubai become sort of a metropolis as far as big events are concerned, be it sports, be it arts, be it culture, what have you. And, gentlemen, let's start with you, Chris. I mean, you walked around this Dubai World Trade Center. First of all, the place is huge. And I mean, we're talking about fan experience, competitor experience. Try to sum it up. What impressed you the most about this Dubai Pro weekend now, and I believe in its third year?
Well, first of all, you got to start with the airport. Coming in through the airport, it's very easy to get through, and that's what's it's such a huge place. And we were talking about everything from the elevators. We got like 4 or 5 elevators going down at the same time, which makes everything a lot easier. You're not waiting around for your turn to get onto the elevator. You get down to the line to get through the customs. Customs just zipping people through. Just make sure you're in the middle section, because we went on the wrong side. Make sure you're in the middle section, and we was going straight through. There was no, what are you here for, blah, blah, blah. It was just like, give me your passport, going through, go and get your bags and do what you're going to do. And then from there, I mean, you notice the architecture around the city is just...
It's like 70 years in the future.
Oh, yeah. It's just like everyone's trying to outdo each other with the best building. No matter what building it is, it's impeccable. The architecture is just off the hook. And then you go to the shopping. You got the shopping malls. You got the food that you can get at all hours of the night, which I was surprised that we can get a fine dining dinner at 2 a.m. in the morning. And, from there, you got the nightlife. The city never sleeps. It's almost like Las Vegas, but out here in the Middle East. And, from there, the hotels are great. Like, you can pack in, if you had a big competition like, say, the Olympia, you could pack in so many tourists, the food places. I mean, everything you need is going to be here in Dubai.
Well, I have to ask, because you mentioned the Olympia. I mean, obviously, look, this is a big event town. Certainly, we've seen it with UFC. We've seen it with boxing. You could absolutely see it with bodybuilding. That begs the question, could we see a Mr. Olympia take place in Dubai?
If I'm running the show, I mean, I'm definitely considering it. This is like Chris said, it's a vacation destination. It's Vegas without the casinos, but those casinos won't be far behind, I can tell you that. This is a place where it's a bucket list place to go. I've been all around the world. I've been here a few times already, but I still haven't seen it all. And there's more to see. The hotels are competing. They're all 5-star. Even the cheap hotels are 5-star hotels. So it's very affordable for the tourists. But for the sport of bodybuilding, this region is probably growing faster than any other region. And it's very close to Oman and Saudi and the other countries that are participating in our sport. I wouldn't count it out that the Mr. Olympia winds up here on some level.
And then there's the other factor, the prize money. I remember the men's physique winner, you and I looked at each other, $20,000 check. And from what you and I have been told, prize money is going to be doubled next year. And then again, we talk about the Olympia, but it also begs the question, at what point, are we going to see an open class competition here at the Dubai Pro? And again, we talk about the likes of a Nick Walker, of a Big Ramy, who confirmed, by the way, that he's not going to be competing at this upcoming Olympia. Some of the biggest names coming here to Dubai, and then, of course, fans to follow.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. It's on the way. When we say it's like when Chris Cormier was coming up as a teenage bodybuilder. I saw him coming, and I mentioned that this guy will be there. And he's a legend, training people, 20 years in retirement now and giving back to the sport. It seems like it's come full circle. The bodybuilders on their way up are making their way through Dubai, and the bodybuilders that have been around are coming to Dubai. This seems like the movement of like the Gold's Gym, California, kind of shifted to Las Vegas for a little bit, and now it seems like it's gym warfare over here. Every gym is competing, and they have the state-of-the-art equipment, and it just everywhere I go, people ask me about Dubai. It's going to be a matter of time before I think the Mr. Olympia winds up here on some level, and it's going to open a whole nother door of growth in our sport.
We see some of the gym companies, gym equipment makers out in the expo. I mean, it is an absolute, I believe YouTube's going to ding us, nuclear warfare. Warfare of equipment. But finally, Chris Cormier, you get the final word on this one. Give a compelling argument. Again, we talked about the prize money. We talked about the experience here in Dubai. A compelling argument for competitors who have not yet competed here in Dubai, in particular Dubai Pro, to come here and apply their trade.
Well, I spent a lot of time here in the Middle East, training people, doing camps here. I resurrected my career here in the Middle East. I think a lot of people can do that because there's so much work for anyone to do, so many people to connect with, and it's just so much growth here. And the riches, the riches are here. So that's about it,
We're going to leave it at that. The riches are here.
The riches.
It's been an absolutely enthralling weekend here in Dubai. For Chris Cormier, Shawn Ray, we thank you for watching. Keep it locked to RXMuscle.com.